This is primetime potent, keep it entertaining. You already knowin', outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Viking Wolf, U.S. Assassin, doing just what he loves. This is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar. No, I'm not frontin'. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is primetime potent. This is primetime potent. Let's go.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Pod Gods. It's only one god right now. Phil McNulty is on a work phone call. Asked me to stall a little for him, but that's all right. We got the Canuck here. What's up, Canuck? Thanks for joining us today. I wanted to show off Viking Wolf. Came in the mail Monday, and now all the books are here. So I've been packaging up books, and I'm going to drop the first shipment off end of the week. Oh, we got a bunch of people in the chat now. Who we got? We got Hicks Villain. Sup? Nicholas Gear. Howdy, y'all. Jimmy the Lumberjack. Hey now, what's up, Jimmy? So yeah, if you backed Viking Wolf, expect it soon. I'm going to spend this month fulfilling the book. And there's still time if you haven't got it. You can go to Indiegogo right now and back it. I'm so close. I'd love to get to 500 backers. I'm only 16 backers away. That would be awesome. I haven't had a non-graveyard shift campaign hit 500 backers. So I'm gunning for that. I think once I hit 500, I'll probably close down the store. But yeah, so if you haven't backed Viking Wolf, do it. I'm so proud of this book. I think it's, in my opinion, the nicest book I've produced so far. But anyway, another thing I wanted to talk about, and I think it's a good time to talk about it since Phil isn't here. I want to talk about the villain, Marty Scurll. Marty is making his return to pro wrestling, which he attempted this before with New Japan earlier in the year, and he actually filmed some episodes with New Japan. I guess when in their Los Angeles tapings, but there was such backlash that speak of the. Leroy said dirty lip failed, TMC. No, he's here. What's up, cowboy?
Hey, I'll be right back.
Oh, my gosh. No, I guess you're right, Leroy. But anyway, Marty Scurll, he attempted a return with New Japan earlier in the year with their LA tapings, and there was such a backlash, so they say, that they didn't air any of his footage. Now he's making a return to pro wrestling for Halloween Fan Fest, and this is in Puerto Rico. Now they say there's backlash about Marty returning to wrestling. You go on his Instagram account, and he posted that he's returning, and there's like 4,000 or 5,000 likes. Fellow pro wrestlers liking him. Pro Wrestling Tees are happy about it. So I don't really know. I think it's the silent majority who are the silent majority, doesn't have a problem with Marty. It's the vocal minority that does. But anyway, I'm looking forward to the villain returning to pro wrestling. So this week today we're talking all WWE wrestling. Extreme Rules was Sunday, Raw was Monday, NXT was last night. We're going to talk all about it. Personally, I've actually been enjoying WWE. I'm surprised. Oh, what's up? Are you back for good now, Phil?
Yeah, I'm back for good. Howdy, y'all.
Did you have any comments on the Marty Scurll return to wrestling?
Let's hope there's no other reports that come out. Let's hope we can move on and he can do what he did beforehand.
Hicks Villain says Marty just needs to do a Sammy Guevara rehab and he can join AEW. Just keep him away from Julia Hart. Ouch.
Oh, God. But no, I think everyone deserves a second chance. Was it creepy what he did? Yeah. Do I think things got blown out of proportion? Maybe, but that's not for me to say. I wasn't there, don't know the facts. But let's just hope he can move on and have a successful career.
Sounds good. You ready to talk some WWE wrestling?
You know what? For the first time in forever, yes.
Yeah, no, I was saying before you joined us, I've been
Mhm.
enjoying WWE the last couple weeks, I would say.
I think SmackDown has always been good.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it keeps getting better. I think Roman Reigns is the biggest draw in wrestling. I can't push it enough. He went over to Raw. The ratings increased. SmackDown gradually keeps going up in ratings. Roman Reigns is such a good wrestler now. It's so awesome to see. And I think Big E gave SmackDown a lot of excitement. I think his move over to Raw gives more title contenders, gives a good face that they can back. I mean, nothing against McIntyre, nothing against Lashley. They just don't have the charisma that a Big E does. And I think it's just sort of reinvigorated the product until the draft throws a giant wrench into it.
Plus, I feel like we've gotten McIntyre and Lashley shoved down our throats for the last, I don't know, it seems like years. Even before they they returned to WWE. We got Lashley and McIntyre in TNA.
And they didn't let us forget, because always the impact moment of the week right before their matches was a replay of whatever they did. So glad to get new blood in there.
Yeah, so let's talk some Extreme Rules. So it starts off with the New Day, reunited New Day versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. This was put together right before the show. They didn't even have the new world champ booked for the pay-per-view.
It just shows you how planned and advanced WWE really is, and that is the start of the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, now I like what they ended up doing on Raw. They sort of put the Hurt Business back together. So now we got another trios. We got a little bit of a updated feud, but also we get McIntyre who calls Biggie out. So we get more matches, and I'm all for more creativity. And the New Day, they just can't go wrong.
Yeah, so New Day gets the victory. A little miscommunication between AJ and Bobby Lashley. They need to get AJ out of the tag team division. He needs to be a world title threat for Big E.
I don't think the WWE wants to have any more plans for AJ Styles, if that seems weird. I think they really buried his WWE career with that Undertaker match. I don't think he's quite recovered from it. I think he sort of lost a little bit of his luster. I didn't think that ever happened during an Undertaker match, but I think the fallout has what's gotten really bad. But I think he'll be sent to SmackDown and he'll turn face and be fed to Roman.
I like the package of AJ Styles and Omos. I just feel like Omos should just be his heavy and not his tag team partner.
Well, Vince was salivating like, oh my God, they're cheering for Omos. Like when he came in, like they're just like, oh my God. And that's why I think that's what's further killed AJ Styles.
Mark Yoon joined us. He says, I have no idea what the heck language you're speaking, but just wanted to show my support. LOL. Hail chat. Hail Mark and Phil. It's funny you should mention that, Mark, because when you guys were talking anime last night on Mandy's stream last night, I had no idea what you guys were talking about. It was like alien. They were saying words that didn't even make sense. Hicks Villain, I was hoping for a new Hurt Business with Keith Lee and Omos, not the return of the 24/7 Reggie Chasers. Ouch.
Ooh.
Eddie Winkler in the house. What's up, Eddie?
Well, I mean, you got Bearcat.
We're going to talk about Bearcat. Nicholas Gear, I'll start watching WWE again when they bring back Fit Finley.
Well, you can watch a Finley on Access TV.
Yep. So New Day gets the victory. Next up, we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus the Street Profits in a great match, I thought. Usos get the victory. They were working over Montez Ford. Montez Ford's going to be a big star.
Yeah, I think the Street Profits time together is diminishing quickly. I think when the draft happens, Montez Ford will be drafted to Raw, and I think Dawkins will stay on SmackDown as a jobber. I think Ford and Damian Priest would have some really killer matches for the U.S. Championship, but I think Dawkins is gone.
Yeah, I like them as a team,
Mhm.
but individually, Montez Ford is clearly the Shawn Michaels
Christian.
of of the group. And have you ever seen anyone get higher on a frog splash than Montez Ford?
I've not, which
Yeah.
is I think another reason why Vince is like, oh my god.
So Usos retain Raw Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. The failed Alka-Seltzer spot, I think, ruined this. But I'm hoping this is the end of Alexa Bliss's weird little girl gimmick.
Word on the dirt sheets is that she's off for quite some time. She's getting married to her boyfriend, so I think this is the last we'll see of her and stealing Bray Wyatt's gimmick.
Yeah, that gimmick is definitely that it needs to go. It's I thought it was weird from the beginning.
Agreed.
Dressing a grown woman in up as a little girl. That's for like
They wanted to. I feel like she wanted to play Harley Quinn so bad, and it just didn't happen.
Yep. Yeah. Oh no, she's been cosplaying as Harley with her gear for years.
Right.
Hicks Villain says R.I.P. Lily. Yeah. What'd you think of the thank you Lily chance?
I'm going to bash AEW in a bit. Don't you worry about that. But this was one of the reasons why I stopped watching AEW. When the supermarks take control of a segment, it no longer interests me. Like, and it wasn't funny. It didn't do anything but just kill the awesome match that happened beforehand. I just want this. I want Lily gone. I want the gimmick gone. And I hope tonight we get a redemption of that gimmick.
Yeah. So for those that didn't see it, Charlotte destroyed the Lily doll, and Alexa Bliss had a fit of rage. She was supposed to foam at the mouth. You could see the Alka-Seltzer tablet in her mouth, and it just wasn't dissolving.
Yeah, it's let's move on.
Yeah, someone on Twitter, I think, had the best rehabilitation of Alexa Bliss. You just draft her over to SmackDown, and she shows up as old Alexa Bliss. And they interview her backstage and said, Alexa, what's wrong? You don't look like you have been looking. And she goes, oh, I just had the case of the Mondays.
That was worse than my dolphin joke I said to my students today. They were drawing their first or best memory, and this one girl drew herself standing in front of the dolphin part in the aquarium, and I said, oh, does your drawing have a lot of porpoise? And she just stared at me.
Eddie Winkler says amen, and a woman. Womp womp. All right, moving right along. United States Championship match, Damian Priest versus Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. This was another great match, I thought. You almost hate to do it, but shout out to Sheamus, who's been, pretty entertaining during the pandemic.
Sheamus just got another nose surgery today. He posted out the 2-time nose job champion. Though there's some divas back in the Attitude Era who probably have that title, but I will
Yeah.
refrain. But no, for such an ugly goddamn belt, this match was beautiful. Damian Priest is so good. I'm glad they didn't mess him up. He was able to survive the Bad Bunny, Miz and Morrison. Thank God. Like, great for him. Sheamus is doing great work. And Jeff Hardy's just Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy is officially just cashing them checks.
Do you remember when we first started this show? We were talking about Damian Priest, and I said there's a guy that they have no idea, no direction for him. And look at him now. He's doing great. I would have, out of all those, bright stars in NXT back then, I would have never suspected Damian Priest to be the one to succeed on Raw.
Well, I always liked his work prior as Punishment Martinez. And I just think like he had such a cool name and a cool look and like a cool sense of self. And I like that he came in older because I think that made him willing to just say, this is my last go at it. I'll do what I have and I'll make it the best.
Yeah, so Damian Priest gets the victory. I think the highlight for me was Sheamus on the ropes impersonating Jeff Hardy.
Sheamus is great. I love Sheamus. I loved him since he came in from the last successful thing ever from the WWECW. So go, Sheamus.
Next up, SmackDown Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. They've really ruined Becky Lynch. She's a terrible heel.
They've ruined and Bianca Belair as well. Both of them are so miscast in what they are. The roles should have been reversed since day one. Becky Lynch is trying to be the next Roman. Listen, Roman is just Roman right now, and that's why we enjoy it. We enjoyed you when you were just Becky, and now she feels like a Conor McGregor ripoff.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the one thing they did do well in this was the return of Sasha Banks. She came back looking like a badass.
I'm just don't know what to think about Sasha Banks anymore. She needs a refresh of her character. I'm tired. I already know what her return promo is. I'm the legit boss, right? I'm better than y'all. Like, it's going to be the same thing, same entrance, same Snoop Dogg. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. She needs a refresh of her character, and it's not going to be written for her, so she's got to do it herself because she's just getting very stale. And when she came out, I was just like, hey, Sasha Banks again, backstabber, yay. Like, I'm just done with that character, and I think this would have been a great time to evolve into something else.
Jimmy the Lumberjack says heels need to generate heat. Becky does not do that. And Eddie Winkler says they ruined Bianca when Becky beat her when she returned. Yep. And then Eddie Winkler says Sasha versus Mella is where it needs to go.
Let's just get them. At least Carmella updated herself. I think she's the only one to constantly do so. Since breaking apart from Enzo and Cass. So
yeah. So that match was I believe just thrown out when Sasha interfered. So Becky Lynch retains. Then it's time for the main event, Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus the Demon Finn Balor. You know why I know it? Finn Balor's the Demon?
Because they call him the Demon Finn Balor.
Every couple minutes they say the Demon. So
not even the Demon. It has to be followed by the Demon Finn Balor. We don't know that the Demon and Finn Balor are one and the same.
So before we even start, Eddie Winkler's calling this match trash. I actually thought this was a decent match until the end. But first, this is the only extreme match in a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules. There's no other, I don't know. There should have been something. Kendo sticks. I don't know.
It was It was just WWE standard rules. Like that's what the pay-per-view was. And this match was the reverse of the Moxley Omega death match. You know, it was really good, and the ending just had a really good intent, and the pyro didn't go off, and it just failed miserably. Whereas this one, it was a good match till the end where it was then failed miserably, but for the wrong reasons. One was an accident, right? A malfunction. This was a planned malfunction, and that is what kills me. You couldn't have just taken the belt off of them, right? And then make this Friday night a rematch and Roman gets the title back. Like that would have been such a nice swerve, especially to keep the demon character protected. But again, Vince doesn't care, and it's the Roman feeding machine.
I got to tell you, leading up to that ending, when Finn was knocked out, and then the heartbeat started going.
Yeah,
I really like that.
That was the point of the match where I thought he can win this, and he might win this. And what a huge! I think they got everyone to buy in, and then once again, our cash is bounced at the expense of the WWE.
Yeah. So for those that didn't see it, the demon, after getting like speared through the barrier, is knocked out. Then the lights go out, and the demon heartbeat starts going, and the red lights come on, and Finn Balor starts flailing on the ground like he's like a heart beating. He's coming back to life, and his music starts, and he does the whole demon.
Oh.
It was fantastic, and then he just whoops ass on the Usos, and then takes it to Roman, throws Roman in the ring, goes to the top rope for his finisher, and he hesitates, and then the ropes collapse.
Imagine that pop. Imagine that pop. They had their... listen, the Undertaker is a once-in-a-lifetime superstar. Just not the character, but his natural height, his natural weight, the natural strength the guy has. The gimmick and the man just matched for that character and for that wrestler. Finn Balor is small, right? He's quick. He doesn't have the body or the bulk, but that gimmick is so good, and they could have had a resurrection gimmick so good, and they killed it, and I was just so upset.
Sometimes you can. I know the storyline is Roman Brock, but sometimes you can throw in a little detour there. WCW did it when Hogan and Sting was what we were building to, but then you had Luger win the world title from Hogan on Nitro, but Hogan won it right back, and you still got Hogan Sting. You could have had Finn win the belt, like you said. Roman wins it back real quick, and then Roman can go off to Saudi and have his match with Brock.
Right. It's just so weird. They're afraid to take chances anymore, and that's what I'm gonna talk about with AEW, because I feel like they got a little bit content for the Grand Slam 2 nights.
Eddie Winkler says Balor to AEW confirmed in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
might as well.
That was Extreme Rules. I think we left Extreme Rules with a little sour taste in our mouths, but overall, I thought it was a pretty good pay-per-view.
It was outside the finish of the finish. Then I think it was a really good pay-per-view, and kudos for them for actually getting their butts in gear.
Eddie Winkler says, I hate Brock so much, but I want him to thrash Roman. Eddie's not a big Roman fan. Roman's the best thing going on in WWE right now.
He draws, and I acknowledge that.
All right, so now we move over to Raw, and we start out with a championship match. Biggie versus Bobby Lashley. Lashley challenged him on Extreme Rules, and this match gets thrown out because we have a reunited Hurt Business. Shelton Benjamin Cedric Alexander, they come out to ringside. They don't interfere in the match really, and it looks like Lashley's about to win when the New Day runs into the ring. I thought this was kind of bad booking. They made Biggie look weak and like he was going to lose the belt if the New Day hadn't ran into the ring.
See, now the intention was to say, you know what, Monday Night Football doesn't start for like a half hour to 45 minutes. We're going to get the viewership in, and we're going to try to keep them by having this match later. That's been their trend. But I got to be honest with you. You can call me Dallas Cowboy, Phil McNulty, because it was Cowboys-Eagles, baby. It's a Cowboys game on Monday night. I am watching the pregame. I am watching the pre-pregame. I'm watching the postgame. I'm watching the post-post game because I want to see all the stuff about my Dallas Cowboys, right? So their intention didn't work, and I just had to watch clips of it. But I got to say, I'm glad they're behind the Big E train.
Yeah, no, Big E's great. Eddie Winkler says, yeah, New Day is awesome, but they got to give E some space. So that match is thrown out. Adam Pearce comes out and says they're going to have that championship match, but they're going to have it at the end of the show, and it's going to be a steel cage match. So the New Day and the Hurt Business can't interfere. So we have that looking forward to. But in between, we get some other matches. We get a new tag team of Angel Garza. Well, it's a singles match. Angel Garza versus Eric from what are they? The Viking Raiders? I can't even remember their names.
Yeah.
But I love the team of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, I mean, we were just singing the praises of Angel Garza. It wasn't
the main event keeps turning on you.
I know, but listen, I love my team, baby. But anyway, like we were all talking about how Angel Garza has Eddie vibes to him, right? We're like, oh, he's like a young Guerrero. I think being with Andrade, I think Andrade kind of screwed him over, and they were just like, oh, well, we forgot about him when Andrade said. So I'm glad to see that they're starting to build him up a little.
And I like that Humberto has turned heel. They're like they're like the new handsome tag team. All right, so we also get some 24/7 championship action. Reggie defends against Ricochet. It ends in a no contest after interference from the Job Squad. Drake Maverick, Drew Gulak, R-Truth. The 24/7 thing, I don't think it's been. I don't think it's been entertaining since like R-Truth makes it fun, but I think everyone else is just kind of a waste.
This title's been dead in the water when it wasn't the Hardcore Championship. Like this is what's terrible about this title is I want to see someone get smashed in the face with a light bulb. I want to see a 2x4 on somebody's back and explode, right? Making it a comedy title and then giving it to a guy who doesn't do comedy, like, who cares?
Yeah. Moving on. Now we're going to talk about the Bearcat. We got Keith Lee destroying Tozawa. I think you have some thoughts on the Bearcat. I'm going to say I like it.
I don't know what they're doing with poor Keith Lee. I feel so bad for this guy. He almost died for crying out loud. And they feed him the cross. They 50-50 book him and say, you know what he needs? A Bearcat name. Oh my God. Poor Keith Lee. What did he do? What did the poor guy do? Did he like take a piss in like Vince McMahon's oatmeal or something?
So apparently this is a homage to the very first Black World Champion. His name was Bearcat.
No, what they don't need Limitless. Keith Lee has such a great name, a great gimmick, the bask in his glory. Like he had a whole spiel and they just canned it. It's insane.
I'm going to disagree with you here. I'm on the Bearcat train.
No.
I am.
Oh no.
I'm on the Bearcat train, and I think Vince McMahon's on the Bearcat train. He's the conductor, and he's right behind. He's all aboard on this.
Is that what you want to be, the conductor of a Vince McMahon created train? You know it's just going to end in fire.
Eddie Winkler, not a fan of the Bearcat. I'm sorry. I think you're going to change your tune. You're going to get behind Bearcat once he puts together some victories.
You will be the first person that I will inform that I chanted Bearcat, Bearcat.
They can sell foam paws, 2 of them, and you can like. Yep, Hicksville knows what's up. Bearcat merch about to flood in.
Get those foam paws.
The thing is, a Bearcat isn't really. It's not really that scary of a creature. It's it's not a bear. It's it's kind of small.
This brings up the good question. Does Vince McMahon know what a Bearcat is?
No,
No,
he has no idea.
No idea. No. He's like, he's big like a bear, and he's agile like a cat. He's a Bearcat.
Eddie Winkler, I think they're trying to harness the Keith Lee brand so the name loses steam when he goes somewhere else. So they're just sabotaging wrestlers now, so they have no value.
No one's bigger than the company.
I think everyone's going to be changing their tune. Everyone, when we get Roman versus Bearcat at WrestleMania.
No.
Yes.
Oh God. We're getting it.
He was yesing to something else, but
we're getting it.
All right. United States Championship match. Damian Priest defeats Sheamus via pinfall. Damian Priest needs to move on to bigger and better things now that he's, finally.
we just spent about 10 minutes saying how great Sheamus was, and now we're like, all right, move on.
Yeah, but I mean, enough of this feud.
Yeah, this is done.
All right, then we get
I forgot how much fun it was to cover the WWE because it really is that bad.
Next we get
this is one of their better shows.
We get Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky versus Jeff Hardy, Mustafa Ali, and Mansoor. Jinder's team gets the victory.
I'm Mansoor after watching this match. I don't get it. I don't get it. What
they
did
got a big
Jeff Hardy
show
do?
coming up, Phil.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. God.
I'm going to say I liked when Jinder was world champion. I thought he was a good world champion.
Let me cut in to say, what? Listen, I'd be fine with Jinder as champion, but he was just jobber for so long. He was a jobber for so long, and they didn't rebuild him up. It wasn't like Pillman Jr., where they made us excited for the match because he was a jobber, but build him up. Like Jinder it's these quick pull the triggers that is really shooting the WWE in their foot since that call.
Hey man, anything can happen in the sport of kings. Even someone like Jinder Mahal can become world champion on any given day.
And God. The memory of 1-2-3 Kid is rolling in his grave. Even though I know Sean Waltman's alive, but the 1-2-3 Kid is dead.
All right. Karrion Kross defeats Jackson Riker. It's good to see Riker back on TV. He's been gone forever, it seems like. But Karrion Kross, they were running these promos of him in a suit looking normal. And I was like, oh, okay, they hit the restart button on Karrion Kross. This is going to be awesome. Nope. He's back in his S&M gear.
I don't get it, man. I guess, this has to be Now we know why NXT went to 2.0. Now we know why NXT and those wrestlers are going to greener pastures. It's because poor Triple H is in the hospital and he's still in there because he can't. For my faith in the future of the WWE, none of this has to be Triple H's responsibility.
I think you know, I think WWE's packaging of Karrion Kross may have been cause of Triple H's heart condition.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then we get AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle. He's just Riddle now. He's not Matt anymore. He's just Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
They should give him a supervillain type gimmick, and he should ask people riddles.
To be the Matt Riddler. What is? Remember RK Bro?
Yeah.
What happened to it? It just did this gimmick die that quickly?
They're still the tag team champions.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel dead?
I don't think so, because when Randy had his title match against Lashley,
Mm-hmm.
what was that, a couple weeks ago?
Right.
I still thought it was strong. I love the interaction between Riddle and Randy.
Me too, but don't you just think when you have a gimmick when you have something that's that full of steam, you gotta keep pushing it. I feel like they hot and cold so many things, right? That instead of that loss to Lashley, they're the ones who should be feuding with the Hurt Business and keep a little bit of that main event steam going, but they're just like, nope, done. It feels very much like the Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho tag team run.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that it came out of nowhere. They won the TLC. It was great. And then they heated them up and then they immediately took the belts off of them. Right.
Yeah.
And it was because they knew where they were going next. So they were in that big hot angle and then it was done and they moved on. That's what I felt like they should have done with RK Bros. They should have actually lost it the next time they defended those championships, just so you can then say, all right, here's two guys, they can go into something better. Because I just feel like both of them are just feeling lost in the shuffle.
Hicksville says Riddle just wants Vince to love him, change his name, make birds fly out of his feet, keep Randy relevant. All he wants is a McMahon hug.
Yes.
So AJ gets the victory. And I guess that's going to continue the AJ Omos RK Bro feud.
Mm-hmm.
Raw Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defeats Doudrop. Thoughts on Doudrop?
Pass.
All right.
Here we go. Let me say this. When your name is Doudrop,
I love the name Doudrop.
You're not gonna do anything. I'm sorry. It's just done.
Then we get a little segment where Goldberg vows revenge for Lashley beating up his son.
Can we talk about how creepy it was, that picture of him, of Goldberg? The portrait behind Goldberg was a portrait of Goldberg with his arm bent like this and just his baby son hanging on his forearm. And I'm just like, this is really it. This is what the special message from Goldberg was.
I want Goldberg's son versus Hook in a match.
Oh, who's going to win that? Hook looks like he can kill anybody. When Hook's chest up with dudes in AEW, I'm like, Hook has a chance.
Yeah. So then it's main event time. We get our cage match: Biggie versus Bobby Lashley, and Biggie gets the victory via pinfall. Although I swore they said, oh, he just has to escape the cage.
And well, when did the rules of a cage match change? You know what I mean? They used to be able to pin, then the only way you could do is climb out, and then they went back to the pin. Like, come on.
Yeah. So Hicks Villain says Baszler is going to be top face if she keeps injuring women like Jackson, Eva Marie.
Yes.
That's a great rehabilitation project they're doing right now.
Right. It is.
Yeah, because she was a badass, and
Mhm.
then she ended up in a tag team with Nia Jax.
When they took the belt off of her in NXT, that's when I knew, like, and then she came to the Rumble and she didn't have a good performance, and you're just like, Vince has no clue what to do with her.
Leroy says Viking Wolf in fulfillment now, allegedly. There's no alleged. Look, these are packages that are taped up and ready to go. All right, so that's Raw.
Mhm.
Then we move on to NXT and NXT 2.0, which I've been loving the last 2 weeks. Not so much this week. And you know why?
Why?
There's no Braun Breaker.
There's no. I refuse to call him Braun Breaker. I will call him Rex Steiner. When it just shows you that they have something special in Steiner, don't they?
Yeah.
This is the first WWE homemade talent to be excited for in a while.
Yeah. Instead, we have all these other new guys they're trying to push. This is like the ECW new talent initiative that WWE tried to push on us
Yeah.
years ago. But this is 20 times worse, because at least the new talent initiative from WWE ECW gave us like Zack Ryder,
Kurt Hawkins,
yeah, the Major Brothers, and
Jack Swagger.
There
Now,
you go. Yeah,
right now in AEW, like Sheamus. So you had some really good like talent come from there. Oh, Morrison.
Yep. Miz, he started on SmackDown, but I think he really found his place on ECW.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we start off NXT 2.0, and we got B-Fab with Hit Row versus Elektra Lopez with Legado del Fantasma. A match I could care less about.
Hit Row apparently. Hit Row is apparently supposed to be called up in the draft. So,
I see nothing in Hit Row.
No, I don't see anything in outside of Ciampa and Steiner and whatever is left of Gargano. I see nothing in any of these people in NXT.
Elektra Lopez gets the victory. She pins B-Fab. Yeah.
Why not? B-Fab.
Yeah. Then we get Joe Casey speaking, and I have no idea what this segment's even about. I have no idea what Joe Casey's gimmick even is.
It's apparently some guy who, like, is supposed to want to be canceled or some new term that I don't understand or care to understand. I don't care. If you were a motivational speaker that made you feel that, like, called you dumb, sort of almost like what the Dark Order gimmick was starting to look like at the beginning, I'd be all into that. But this, I don't understand.
I want to see the guy succeed, because he was a staple on the East Coast Indies, especially around our area with CZW and H2O. So I'd like to see something happen for Joe Casey. Then we get Zion Quinn versus Oni Lorcan.
So this tells it all. So we got Lorcan's still a thing. Who knows? NXT is just bad.
So Quinn looks like little Roman Reigns. He's wearing like the tribal chief lay around his neck, and I don't know. All these guys. If you don't have Braun Breaker, Rex Steiner on your show, you really don't have anything.
No, it just proves that all their talent is it's depleted. They got nobody. That's why it's no longer a viable third brand. They got nobody.
Then MSK comes out, and they're looking for new challengers for their tag titles. You get the Grizzled Young Vets coming out. You get Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams coming out, and then you get this new like redneck tag team, and it breaks down into a brawl.
I don't care about anybody in this. Anybody. Is that a shame?
I was, who I was thinking about during this segment?
Oh.
What's his name from Impact? Who was one of the Rascals?
Oh, Trey Miguel.
Yeah, Trey Miguel, who I can't even remember his name.
Do you think the Rascals? That was NXT's big signing. Was the Rascals? We knew they were in some deep stuff when that was their big signing.
Yeah. Hicks Villain says, at least you understand Gacy, unlike Trick Williams. We got Rick Saylor in the chat. What's up, Rick? Thanks for joining us. We're talking some NXT. It's not very good.
2.0.
Well, they're going to have an 8-man tag match next week. MSK teaming up with the Redneck guys against the Grizzled Young Vets and Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams.
The Redneck guys.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Then we get the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. Zoe Stark and Io Shirai versus Toxic Attraction. Toxic Attraction is this new like Mean Girls click for Mandy.
Are we thinking the same thing?
I'm thinking Mandy would never hang out with these girls.
I am thinking they are trying to push a new like horsewomen NXT group because they all look like the doppelgangers of the NXT horsewomen.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it.
They are Charlotte Flair away, a tall blonde from being that. And I'm just like, this looks so much like they're trying to do a horsewoman gimmick, only they're supposed to be mean girls.
So, Shirai and Stark defeat Toxic Attraction. There hasn't been any. Has there been a good segment yet, Phil?
No, not at all.
Then we get Boa versus Andre Chase. Andre Chase is this guy who has this weird teacher's gimmick.
Right. And he just yells, I don't get it. I'm a teacher and I don't get. I don't. This guy there's nothing about teaching, or he doesn't even like he doesn't even instill the fear of the father from the Twisted Sister music videos. What are you gonna do with your life? Like I feel like he's a knockoff version of that, and that is bad.
It's not even Dean Douglas level. Like at least Dean Douglas would give his opponents a grade before the match.
Right.
This guy, he just comes out and shouts, and he's wearing a goofy sweater and slacks. And we get it. You're a teacher. You don't have to wrestle in your teacher
right
wardrobe. Like Matt Stryker, he didn't wrestle in a sweater when he was doing the teacher gimmick.
He's gonna come out dressed in like with a graduation hat on and robe and be like, "I've got my doctorate." Like that's what they'll come out with.
The little bit upgrade for him, Dr. Andre Chase.
Yeah.
Finally, something I
Thank God was
pretty decent. NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Roderick Strong defends against Grayson Waller. I actually like the Diamond Mine gimmick.
Yeah, it's not bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the two brothers as the tag team. I like the girl that they just added to the group. I like Michael Bivens as the mouthpiece. And it's something for Roderick Strong since,
Undisputed Era is gone.
Yeah, since two of his friends are gone. And poor Kyle O'Reilly. I don't think he has much of a future.
No, he once you try to rip off Orange Cassidy and then you get called out for that, you there's nowhere else to go. That's what the nail in his coffin was. When he tried to rip off Orange Cassidy's gimmick, that's when I think everyone turned on O'Reilly.
Yeah. So Roddy gets the win. Then we get another fun segment. So all right, so we got a good match, and now we have a good segment. We have Johnny Gargano spying on Index on their honeymoon.
Great. I wonder what they're going to do with Loomis. I don't think it's a main event gimmick, but I enjoy it nonetheless.
Yeah, and I mean, is this what Johnny Gargano becomes? Mr. Johnny Takeover becomes comedy guy now in NXT 2.0?
He's just waiting till he can become Johnny Impact.
That's already been taken.
I know. That's why it's hilarious.
So, is his contract up in December?
Yes, I believe him and Ciampa.
And someone else's contract's up in December too. And I just happened to run into him at the Philadelphia airport, and that's Kevin Owens.
Kevin Steen is going to be such a delight in AEW.
Yeah.
He may be the guy who takes the belt off of Miro. That's how that would be the only way I can see it, because he's just so good.
Leroy says, I've watched like 15 of these and I still don't know what they're talking about. Well, thanks for hanging out, at least, Leroy. Maybe you'll learn. It's been 15 episodes. You haven't learned anything yet? Eddie Winkler says, NXT has become the WWF superstars.
Yeah, it has.
No, at least I heard of the people from Superstars.
Oh God, are we done with NXT?
No.
Oh God,
Now we got main event: Kyle O'Reilly versus Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland looks like a player. I mean, he looks like he could have a future. Oh, we still got another match after this, but Kyle O'Reilly needs to be saved. He needs this guy to keep coming out to save him. Who is it? I don't even know. But like he took Kyle O'Reilly's spot in the championship match.
I don't know. I tried watching and I can't do it, Mark. I can't do it. It's so bad. There's so much wrestling on. I don't have time for this. It's so bad.
And then NXT Women's Championship match. Raquel Gonzalez defends against Frankie Monet. Poor Frankie Monet.
When they took away the Taya Valkyrie name, they took away her heart. She is that poor girl. She should, you know what? They had Miz turn on Morrison, and then Miz want to do Dancing with the Stars. Like, this is when you bring in Frankie Monet and you repackage Morrison and you make them an awesome gimmick and you can make them a main event attraction. You know, they've got the looks, they've got the in-ring ability. Morrison's mic skills have been so good since he came back. You need to pair these two together and have them be a power couple and just bring some fresh air into it. Imagine John Morrison and Big E matches would be absolutely amazing for that title.
What did Frankie Monet do to be paired with the human albatross Robert Stone?
She had a name for herself prior to coming in, and that was her big fault.
Yeah. Man, everyone they've stuck with Robert Stone,
they just fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Is he the worst manager ever?
Track record wise, yeah. None of his talent has gone on to do anything. Except Chelsea Green, who got released, and now she wrestles for Ring of Honor and Impact.
And the one girl that they were trying to get is on SmackDown. So you say no to the Stone brand, you'll succeed.
Yeah. So that does it for NXT. man, after like 2, I thought pretty decent episodes of NXT 2.0, an absolute awful episode.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh
this
yeah.
this new talent, they need to go.
Mhm.
They're not ready.
They're not, and this is what happens when you say you're no longer going to sign indie guys. You can't compete on television if you don't even have people who don't have the slightest bit of background to them. You're gonna get these cookie cutter, figures who don't mesh well together. At least if they're indie wrestler, they have some experience. They can call some matches in the ring. They can put on a match on the fly with an opponent. So by doing so, you're just constantly having to watch these bad segments, quick matches that don't do anything.
Hicks Villain says, I doubt Monet can save Morrison at this point.
I'm just a Morrison mark. I hope to see him win the belt at least once, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Is this what NXT is now, though? It's like green guys trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, because they can't compete with AEW, and this was supposed to be why they couldn't beat AEW. And now that AEW is starting to beat them in the demographic, and they're only about 200,000 viewers away from topping Monday Night Raw, we're going to start seeing.
If Vince and Bruce Pritchard are in charge of this, and if I doubt Vince is watching, but maybe Bruce Pritchard.
Hey, Bruce.
You need Braun Breaker on every episode.
And you need him to break away from the name and be Rex Steiner.
I don't know if that'll happen. Maybe when he gets moved up to the main roster.
Right.
But that does it for our WWE review.
Do you want a good palate cleanser?
Sure. Leroy says A&W root beer is overrated. I agree. No, AEW. It's wrestling, Leroy.
Yeah. Do you want a nice palate cleanser?
Yeah.
AEW Dynamite Grand Slam opens up with Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. Oh my Lord. What a great match. What a great match.
Yeah, and we were both wrong when we were picking who was going to win. I never thought came to me to think, oh, they're going to do a draw.
It's such a good thing to have on their show. Those kicks and V triggers back to back, and the fact when they collapsed and they couldn't count it, and the time limit was up. Such a good call from day one. They don't do it awesome. They don't do it often. They save it for special moments, and that's what makes AEW so good, is that you can protect your top two guys because you've already had that planned years in advance. It's just such good storytelling.
Hicks Villain was there live. Thought it was awesome.
Jealous.
Eddie Winkler says it was amazing. Yeah, no, I watched it. Bryan Danielson, my bad. His chest was pretty beat up.
That's since that Royal Rumble that Danielson was in, right? And his chest was lit up. I think it stepped up the light up game, and Omega is just like, they wanted to knock this one out of the park, and this we get to enjoy this for a little. We got a little taste. That next match for the belt is going to be so good. Like, we're going to get Danielson built up, where he's going to get wins. Omega might defeat Punk during this time span, but that's going to be such a good payoff. And at first, I didn't think anything was going to change the Hangman toppling Kenny. I think it may be Bryan Danielson. I feel bad for Hangman, but he just left at the wrong time.
Yeah, timing's everything in pro wrestling. We got Leroy saying it's a good thing I show up to approve Eddie's messages. Eddie Winkler says the crowd being there makes all the difference. Phil, there was another big wrestling event over the weekend. I'm not sure if you watched it, but the CG Royal Rumble happened. And I did my play-by-play, and it was an amazing show. I did not win the Rumble. I drew the unlucky number of 8.
You were like the when Booker T got called in from the announcers
Exactly.
table to wrestle and then got eliminated real quick and came back in to do your commentary.
Yeah, this guy Brian Criscow, he did a Spanish fly on me. Eddie Winkler says that needs to be monthly. Yeah, I think they're going to start doing like monthly matches. I'm definitely on board to do more play-by-play, but it was a lot of fun. Michael Bancroft won the CG Royal Rumble. Phil, if you have time, definitely check it out. I can point you in the direction. Some people have already cut like highlights of it, so you don't have to sit through the whole 2-hour thing. You can just watch the highlights.
Excellent.
But Phil, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at AnimatedPhil, and also my Etsy shop link down below.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Polton, hit the notifications. Go check out Viking Wolf in demand, not for much longer because I'm in fulfillment. And also check out US Assassin, like 23 days left, I think, in the campaign. Also, I think Phil and I, we're going to get together this weekend, possibly, and film our new show where we go out figure hunting. And then we'll be back Sunday for
Sunday Night Heat.
Yep.
Yep.
So, guys, thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.